This Week in Geek, April 10th, 2018. I remember the dates, unlike our other host. This is Will.
And Chris.
And Scotty Smurf.
So, not much news, geek news this week that I know of. Now, I guess let me clarify that. Not much superhero news, because that's the only news I care about.
But you were a superhero at C2E2, Will. We can talk about that.
That is true. Although I didn't film as much as I wanted to. Like, I just forgot. Like, after we did that one intro, like, I just stopped. Right. I didn't even think about going back and doing anything. Oh, yeah, we did have C2E2. I totally forgot about that.
We can talk about that, but I guess Scott has some news for us.
Yeah, Scott, like, break it down.
Oh, there's a couple little things. If you're still playing Pokemon Go, like me and the wife, the Mew quest is still ongoing, and you have to do a lot of different little objectives before Mew will appear. And one of those is you have to have the gold medal in the Kanto region, which is you have to have a certain number of Pokemon originally found in the Kanto region. And so for the next 7 days, those Pokemon from the original games will be appearing more often. These are the original ones, the OG ones, the Squirtle and the Dugtrio and the Diglets.
Did you just
all
say
those.
OG? Sorry. This is an OG talking about Pokemon Go.
The old school. How about that?
For sure.
Yeah, a lot of those creatures will be showing up a lot more, and you can work on those. I've already got all those, but you can get a lot of candy for those for doing the power-ups and evolving. So that's Pokemon Go.
I don't think I've turned on Pokemon Go in almost 2 years.
Oh wow,
that's all it's been out, man.
Yeah, it was that first summer, and that was it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think my wife used to play it every now and then. I don't know. I just don't.
There's still a lot of people out. I mean, we're Blue Box Cafe is a Pokemon stop, so we get a lot of people still walking around. We're across the street from a gym, so we get a lot of people, and they're doing what? Is that when there's like 50 people? Is that like a raid or something, Scott? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it's a raid. So, yeah, the raids are either just like some little schlub Pokemon that, you can take down with 2 people that, it's basically just for points. But then there's also the legendaries that take just like 8 to 10 people to take down. And, that's when if you ever heard of Discord, it's the chat program. People get together on those, and they communicate all the, those meetups and everything, because they only last for like an hour.
Right.
Cool.
That's cool. Yeah, there's I was looking something up. I want to say, speaking of Pokemon Go, but in Niantic, because I was inquiring about the Harry Potter thing that's supposed to come out. So allegedly, it's supposed to come out in the second half of this year, but I may be wrong about the date, but it was something like in the beginning of July is when Pokemon Go started a couple of years ago, and they're thinking that it might be literally 2 days into the second half of the year that they're going to pop it out, because I guess it's their 2-year anniversary coming up.
Probably so, yeah.
But who knows? So
interesting. All right.
Which but and also tying in, because Harry Potter's birthday is the 31st of July. I would expect it sometime around then, because that's too good of an opportunity to if you're going to do a Harry Potter kind of thing, that would be a good time to do it.
Right.
You would think, but who knows? So.
All right. Any other gaming news?
Actually, I just noticed this a little earlier. So the Xbox One has they're putting on more original Xbox, the very first Xbox backwards compatibility, and they've got a big batch coming out in April, which includes the Elder Scrolls 3, Panzer Dragoon Orta, which are incredible games. But then on the 26th, there are a total of 6 of the old Star Wars games, including the old Battlefront, the Jedi Knight, Jedi Starfighter, Knights of the Old Republic, and Republic Commando will be backwards compatible. So these are, if you have the original disc, you can put it in, and the Xbox will download a little patch, and you can now play that game on your Xbox One.
I'm gonna need a list of those to go find at a flea market or something because because the problem with that is now those games are gonna go up in price, so I'm gonna have to buy them all out and kind of flip them on eBay. Be one of those resellers that everybody hates.
You know what? I'll put it on the page.
You were showing me your Jedi mind tricks a little, and they were pretty effective. So
they are. I'm very good at that kind of stuff. I wish I wish I could open up a retail shop where I can do that for a living. But
why not? Go for it.
I got bills, man. I can't take that shot. I can do an online one eventually, but not right now. Yeah. I'll start selling Pokemon cards because I hear there's lots of crazies out there spending thousands for those things.
Yeah, they go for quite a bit.
Sweet. Any other news? You know what? I know you guys are big Star Trek fans. I'm not. But Anson Mount, who was in Marvel's Inhumans TV show, which I stopped watching, as Black Bolt, looks like he's been cast in Star Trek. Was it Discovery?
Yeah, he's on Discovery.
Yeah.
He will be Captain Christopher Pike.
So Pike he was the guy in JJ's first movie that he was like the commander, right?
He was the captain of the Enterprise, and he's the one that mentored Kirk and gave him that dare. Your father saved 800 lives in 15 minutes. I dare you to do better.
Yeah. Okay.
And Pike was also in the original Star Trek pilot way back in 1964.
Oh wow!
And they made him change it, and they used it in. Is it the Menagerie? Is that the name of the?
Yeah.
That's the name of the episode where they go back and use some of that original footage. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah. It is. The original episode is The Cage, and then they did the 2-part episode, The Menagerie. Now, supposedly production was running behind in the season, and they were going to get behind on it. New episodes for the network to show. So to fill space, they filmed like 1 episode's worth of new footage and wove that old episode in, so they got 2 episodes out of it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Star Treks. It's a original series. It's a pretty good one. Well, because you see Spock in a different light, you see the different setup. Gene Roddenberry put the second in command was a woman, and people went nuts and they didn't like the alien, but he's like, no, you have to have Spock in there, and the rest is history. I think that he stuck by it. So
yeah. It's a really good story too. You'd think something like that would feel cheap and hacked together, but watching it not too long ago, it really holds together as a neat story.
And so you said you watched it not too long ago, and how many times have you seen that episode?
I don't know, a few times.
And you still haven't finished the Marvel movies.
I'm still working on the 3-hour cut of Superman.
This is 1966 we're talking about, or 67.
3 hour. Why are you wasting your time with the 3-hour cut of Superman?
There is a bit of padding, you can tell that, but it's got a lot of really neat character moments. More in Luthor's lair in the subway, and the policeman tracking Otis in the street.
See, I love the Hackman, but like that, realistically, Lex Luthor was so stupid.
Otisburg.
The best line in any superhero movie ever. Otisburg. Just the disdain in his voice is unbelievable. It's so great.
Yeah, I've still got another hour to go on that, so maybe I can finish that up this week.
Oh man, so disappointing. Like I would just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Scotty. I mean,
well, if it was a 3-hour Spider-Man, you'd be watching it every day. Hello.
I wouldn't if the Marvel Cinematic Universe was coming to like this culmination. I wouldn't be wasting. Like if they came out with a Sam Raimi Spider-Man cut, like super cut that was 3 hours long, and
there's an alternate cut of Raimi's Spider-Man 3 available on Blu-ray, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
He owns 10 copies. Don't let him lie.
Right, but I don't not see other movies because I've seen that movie 10 times. No, that's not at all.
I see other stuff.
Anything good?
What?
Well,
are there things that are good?
Well, we've been rewatching Daria. That's really
Daria
good. That holds up.
The MTV cartoon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
that holds up really well.
Why? Daria.
Wait, Scott, I don't think it held up when it came out, but if it holds up well, that's good.
Cartoon was...
No, Daria wasn't bad. It's actually pretty good.
Especially considering its pedigree as a Beavis and Butthead spinoff. So, but yeah, it's still enjoyable.
But,
anyways, how about some Lord of the Rings news?
There's no anyways here. You're watching Daria cartoons from 1994.
In the late 90s.
Instead of the MCU. It's just heartbreaking.
We'll get there. It's a work in progress.
Your son will be graduating college by the time you get there.
Well, he can watch it with me.
There you go. You just wait for him to catch up. That's all. A couple years, he'll be in.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. What other news we've got?
Lord of the Rings.
There's a new book?
He has a new book. So Christopher Tolkien has edited and posthumously published a couple more things. The other article, I lost the link here, but it was an interesting headline. It said Tolkien puts out new book before George R.R. Martin does, and Tolkien's dead. But this is called The Fall of Gondolin, which is another one of the deep history books of millennia before the War of the Ring that we saw in the movies. So it's about the elven city of Gondolin and its sacking by the Dark Lord Morgoth. And
I have no idea of anything you've said, but I like the Lord of the Rings movies.
It's old school. It's like it is really deep history, but it'll be good.
Yeah, it's deep stuff. Like several millennia before, the Lord of the Rings and everything.
Because Morgoth was a big bad before Sauron was, and Morgoth was supposed to be worse.
Right.
So his son or his grandson? Who is this?
Christopher Tolkien is his son, who's 93 himself. But
that's what I was wondering because you said his son, and I'm like, how old is this person? Jeez, 93.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he's an older fella, but yeah, he is.
Because he was in his 50s when he put out the books, and those were 60 years ago.
Yeah.
More than 60, 63 years ago, something like that. So, yeah.
Wow.
Got some longevity, got some legs. So,
there's a lot of Tolkien wrote a lot of notes, and his son's been putting some of them together into the stories. So that's what's happening there.
Cool. That'll be cool. I read that. Who got it? I can't. I'm sorry. I'm like my brain is not functioning today. It's cold in my basement. That the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov is going to be turned into a series, which would be pretty interesting. But it's like Game of Thrones on crack. It's really involved, but it should be pretty good.
Let's see. Here it is. Apple lands it.
Your phone is going to pay for it a little, just so you know.
TV series adaptation of Foundation, straight to series consideration. Because there was like the original 3 books, and then I think he wrote 20 more side stories or something. Yeah,
well, the whole Daniil, iRobot and stuff is off of that. And iRobot, those books are really, really good. The movies have been horrible.
But the books hate iRobot. I mean,
no, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the story. It was based on. It was kind of loosely based on the story.
It was big bully style. That's why.
Big bully style. You're right. It wasn't bad at all. It was actually pretty good, but it wasn't that book. So
right.
It's all right.
I get it. I mean, it's like some of Philip K. Dick stuff that it's not exactly what you're getting, but.
Well, Asimov's a little weird. a strange dude, or was a strange dude, and so he. But his stuff, some of his stuff was pretty progressive for science fiction.
Yeah.
Anybody here see The Quiet Place? Or A Quiet Place?
No, but did you?
I did.
Good?
Fantastic.
Well, it should be. It did $50 million in box office last week, so.
And knocked out Ready Player One for number 1, which is crazy. I mean,
yeah.
But
by a lot,
it was great.
Not even by a little, by a lot.
Yeah, I definitely recommend to see that. Hopefully, if you do go, your theater's quiet. Man, like the movie, is really just a lot of it is ambient sound. A lot of it's very quiet. I mean, there's 4 lines of dialogue. I mean, there are a few more, but it was everybody in it was great. Everybody in it was great. It was a fantastic movie. So definitely check that out. I don't want to spoil it since nobody else here saw it.
Sure.
Okay.
The trailers look amazing. So.
Yeah, Emily Blunt, fantastic. Jim Halpert, fantastic. He will be Jim Halpert. I was watching The Office.
I think he gets a bad rap. He's a pretty good actor, and he can hold a screen pretty well. He just, everybody goes, "Oh, it's Jim Halpert." So.
Well, I mean, it's your most famous role. I mean, anybody who does. I mean, anytime I see Downey now, I'm thinking Iron Man. It doesn't matter what I'm watching. You
don't think of him as that. Oh crud! Now I've lost it. Allie McBeal's boyfriend.
I never watched Allie McBeal, so I have no idea what you're saying.
You never watched Allie McBeal?
No. How old was I?
I don't know.
When did Allie McBeal come out?
You have to be 15.
Why would I be watching Allie McBeal when I'm 15 years old?
She was cute. I don't know.
I never thought she was cute.
Callisto's cute, but Jane Krakowski, that's where it's at.
Teresa just texted me, "What's he talking about?" No, I'm teasing. So, no, she's good looking too. I thought, a little like the dancing baby.
I don't know what. I have no idea what's going on here.
They had was it a computer thing where they had she had this dancing baby thing I can't remember much of it. I watched it for a little while and then stopped. So,
yeah, I had no desire at 15 years old to watch Allie McBeal. At 15 years old, I was watching Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls every day.
It might even be older than that, huh? It might be 25 years. You might have been 10. I can't remember.
And at that point, I was still watching Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. So. In between Spider-Man cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing. What, Black Panther is now number 3 all-time box office?
Number 3 domestic, yeah. Yep.
Domestic?
Yeah, not worldwide yet. Which I knew. I mean, it's done fantastic overseas, but I knew it wouldn't have the same kind of grip that it does over here. Like when you look at the Chinese box office and stuff like that, they don't see it, the movie the same way we do.
No,
it did well again. I think it's almost 1.3 billion. Worldwide, which is nothing to sniff at, but I think that puts it worldwide. I think maybe in the top 10, but not, not to the numbers it's doing just domestically, which is awesome because, for Marvel, because they make more money off the domestic take than the international take. So,
right.
So I'm sure they're happy.
Well, still,
about that.
they did 100 million in China and 42 in South Korea.
Yeah,
that's pretty damn good, and 65 in the UK. That's pretty strong.
No, it's very strong. Like I said, it's nothing to sniff at, negative at, but you could look at, movies like Fast and the Furious. Like the last several have been billion-dollar movies overseas.
Wow.
Like the last Fast and the Furious movie, I believe, made less than 200 domestic and over $1 billion overseas.
Yeah, they go nuts for them.
Tokyo Drift, baby, that's all.
I liked Tokyo Drift. I didn't hate that movie.
It wasn't bad, except I don't like the guy who.
Well, that's why he's never really been in anything since. I mean, he did appear in 7 for a split second. Was it 7? Or was it 8? I can't remember now. Maybe
he shows up every once in a while. What was he in? He was in something else that was pretty big.
He was in that Friday Night Lights movie where he was a quarterback.
Right. No, but like something recently, I saw him show up in something.
He was on some kind of show. He was like on like some kind of drama or cop show on one of the network channels.
And he was pretty solid. So,
yeah, but who watches those? I mean, I don't watch that.
What? TV?
Network TV. Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Outside of comedies, but you guys been watching Roseanne?
No.
No.
I have. I mean, it was on tonight again. The new. It's not bad. I think the first episode was a little heavy on the politics, and since then it really hasn't been that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do like John Goodman, so that's why I kind of keep watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up, when I was a kid, I was watching that, and I always loved Dan, as a father, like, a big dude wearing, Bears sweatshirts all the time. Right. I'm like, yeah, Chicago.
But the first 3 or 4 seasons of Roseanne were really, really good because she just didn't, I don't want to say didn't care. It was just her explaining her life, and they didn't take themselves too seriously. And now I think she is, and I don't know.
No, I can see that. I mean, it did totally jump the shark there, like after they killed Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd given up watching well before that point. And, I've seen a little bit here and reruns here and there, and sometimes it's interesting, but, I don't know, just doesn't grab me anymore.
Yeah. I'm looking at the all-time worldwide grosses. Black Panther is 10th. And you're right, Furious 7 did $1.163 billion.
That's off the top of the noggin here, buddy. Look at that. I didn't even know Black Panther was 10th. I guesstimated.
You're a fount of knowledge.
I am.
Two of them are treasure. Star Wars, which is kind of funny.
I'm a national treasure in my own mind.
You're Nick Cage.
Oh, speaking of, Nick Cage wants to play the Joker.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, man. Like, nobody's giving you that role. Like, nobody's giving you a comic book movie after...
You could be the guy that gets hit with Biff. That's who you could be. Biff, pow!
I just... Oh, my God. I don't know. Like, that's just... everybody's just... Oh, I would love to play that character. Of course you would. Because you want to try to be in $1 billion movie. That's...
Yes.
It's too funny.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? You're right. Who wouldn't want to say that?
Do you guys think Nick Cage would play a good Joker? I think if this was 1990, you know what? If they did like the Batman and Robin movie with George Clooney instead of doing it with was it Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy, and maybe brought in a Nick Cage Joker in that movie. That would be acceptable.
That would be good. That would have been interesting. Yes.
But after Ledger and what we've seen in these movies, not just comic book movies in general, no way.
Yeah.
Because it would just be all camp, and that's just not saying that camp is not good at times. Like I like a little camp here and there, but we've already seen. Cesar Romero, so we don't need any more camp Joker.
Well, yeah. Plus, it was 1966. So, what are you expecting back then?
I mean, if they're gonna get me a 1966 Batman movie and they want to cast like a TV type movie, then by all means, let's go for it.
Yeah.
I wonder who could
CGI Burgess Meredith. Who would be Batman? That would be, who knows?
Who would be
for
Batman
a TV movie?
In a 1966 TV movie type remake?
Huh.
Where you get him in the skin tight spandex suit, like.
Oh yeah, with the bat repellent, with the bat shark repellent.
Oh yeah,
it was awesome. That was fantastic. I'm trying to think who could do campy Batman like that. Steve Carell.
Steve Carell?
He's not. He's not tall enough.
What
I think Steve Carell could be Robin.
No, he could be Penguin. Is who he could be. He would be a great penguin.
Just put him in a little like stuffed suit.
He could walk around squawking and be.
See, I'd pay for this movie. I'd pay for that.
What about John Krasinski then as Batman?
Again?
Jim Halpert. Yeah.
He's gonna be Jack Ryan. Might as well. Why not?
Yeah.
And hopefully Reed Richards, but I don't know. I think.
That would be good actually, because the two of them on screen, even though they are husband and wife, have pretty good chemistry. I think that might not be a bad setup.
I hope it happens. I like that idea.
Who's going to be their flame though?
Well, I got called out on Twitter because on the League of Geeks, I said it should be Zac Efron, and people were not happy with my choice of Zac Efron as Johnny Storm, Human Torch. So I don't know.
Wow.
Bring back Chris Evans. He was actually good at it.
No, he was the best part of those movies. As long as it's not Michael Chiklis in a suit, I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah. That was bad.
My wife still hates that part where, like, his girl, like, when Chiklis like breaks out and like he goes to New York and he's in the trench coat and everything, and then like his girlfriend runs out across the street in her nightie and pajamas, like in a little silk robe, and then gives him back his ring by. She's like, that is just such a terrible part of the movie.
Yeah. You don't do that to the commish. You can't do that to him.
I only remember Chiklis. I never watched any of his cop shows. I just remember him on an episode of Seinfeld.
Wow.
Well, those shows, I mean, the commish.
Yeah, they had everybody.
How old was I when the commish came out?
I don't know. Probably 2, but it was great. So
I doubt 2, but yes. I was younger. I wasn't watching that kind of TV.
I would bet the commish is 1990.
So if it was 1990, I was 11.
Oh my god.
Dude, I don't even want to talk to you. First episode, 1991.
All right, so I was 12.
Wow.
I was going into junior high. I was in 8th grade, wearing Z Cavarici pants and IOU sweatshirts.
You were a very well-dressed young man. That's all I remember.
It's true.
You look very dapper.
It's true. I used to have some style when it was my parents' money. Now that it's my money, nope. Not a chance.
You would have been perfect with the Zumba wardrobe.
Oh, I had Zumbas, I had Bears ones, Raiders ones, Chicago Bulls ones. Yeah, it was all about that, kind of stuff. All right, what other news we've got here? I know it seems like we're drawing this out with the history of my life and old TV shows.
Well, there's a tiny bit of Batgirl news.
The writer of Bumblebee. Oh.
Yeah, and Unforgettable.
Good luck.
Anybody see? So I thought for a second that was Unforgiven. Now I'm like, well, maybe that's got something, but no,
Unforgiven. When did that come out? I was like,
I don't know. When you were 2, Unforgettable, and the upcoming Transformers movie Bumblebee. Yeah, so she's supposed to be doing the Batgirl movie, writing it at least after Whedon dropped out. So yeah, that's really all they had to say about that. I did find some Doctor Who news.
What happened?
So Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat are doing novelizations of some of their older episodes. So Russell T Davies is doing a novelization of Rose, the very first episode of the relaunch, and he's adding a lot of stuff into it. And Moffat also adding stuff into the Day of the Doctor. And a lot of little background things, adding, fleshing out some details and stuff that's happening, and
filling some holes in.
Filling some holes in. Like it even kind of it puts the Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies sort of into canon.
Right, I read that part. So they had talked about that before, but I mean with Big Finish, which is the audio dramatizations of Doctor Who that basically gave Paul McGann like 25 or 30 episodes as the Doctor.
Right.
I think there's a lot out there that they could do because they're obviously these guys have tons of ideas that they could put into 10 or 12 shows a year. And that's good because I liked both of them. I obviously like Stephen Moffat better than I did Russell T Davies, but I think he also had some good stuff too. So, I'm not gonna say no to more Doctor Who.
Yeah. I might look up some of those. I do check out the Doctor Who graphic novels from the library.
Uh-huh.
Those are really good. They have series going for 10, 11, 12, and then they do specials for like some of the other Doctors. They're here and there, but they have continuing series for 10, 11, and 12.
Well, that's good. Well, was it last summer or this summer, last spring, they got River Song and number 8 got Paul McGann to do a couple of Big Finish. And then Tom Baker's supposed to, and I don't know if they came out already or not. I didn't check. Tom Baker's supposed to have some episodes and getting him back into the universe, which is great. Which can only mean good things because his voice was great. I mean, obviously he was in the 50th, and that was beyond awesome. Brought a tear to my eye, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I was excited, so it was not bad.
And isn't Christopher Eccleston doing like his first con?
Yeah, he's doing his first con. He's
gonna complain about it the whole time, I'm sure.
He had a pretty positive take on it that I read. That I think he's given into the fact that the Doctor is maybe his biggest role, and that he needs to embrace it a little bit. Plus, there's a lot of money out there for those guys, a ton, and it can't hurt.
Good. First ever convention appearance. Just don't ask him about G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra.
He's been the bad villain in a few movies, that's for sure.
Well, he hated his time in Thor. He hated his time in G.I. Joe. He complains about Doctor Who. I mean...
He hated his time in Star Trek, too. He did not like... What was... Right, it was Star Trek he was in.
Eccleston in Star Trek?
What was he in? He was in... Yeah, he was in the minor one. He was the minor guy.
The Miner.
I
don't remember that one. Hang on.
Yeah, no, he was...
In what series? Was it in the movie?
It was in one of the movies.
One of JJ's movies or one of the older movies?
I gotta look. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Podcasting at his best, everyone. Where we're looking up stuff we don't know the answers to.
I don't think he was ever in Trek.
Oh no, that was who's the guy who played the first Hulk? Eric Bana, sorry.
Eric Bana, yeah. Eric Bana was Captain Nero.
Guy.
Yeah, he was Captain Nero.
I apologize.
You better.
I go from the hip, so.
That's all right. What else we got?
Scotty, you did not go to C2E2, did you?
No, I didn't make that.
You should have.
You should have. What did you think, Alil?
You know what? I liked the con. I thought it was good. I mean, it's one of the better ones for fans of comics.
Sure.
More so than I think film. Although, I don't understand this. Okay, we live in Chicago. Chicago is a top 3 city.
Second.
Yeah.
Or second
I always
city?
say the second city, but I mean, you got LA, you got New York, and then you got Chicago.
Well, we're the 3rd biggest media market, so.
And yet, like, Dallas had Ben Affleck the same weekend. Like, we never get any big guests. I don't get it.
Well, you know what?
Not
I'm
to say
wondering
that
if
I
it's
wanted Ben Affleck's autograph, but it's like, I see, Evans has, been a lot of places, New Orleans, Ohio. Even Hemsworth was last year, I think it was last year, in Ohio. And I get it, sometimes it's their schedule, but it's Ohio. Right. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't get it, like, why there's not this draw here in Chicago for some of the bigger name celebrities. I mean, we're going
Yeah.
into PopCon, and so far it's LeVar Burton and Will Wheaton.
Hey, don't forget, Tara Reid's going to be there too.
Sharknado's finest, Tara Reid. Yes. I don't know. Like, I don't. It was the one thing that irked me. Although I didn't realize R.L. Stein was there.
Huh.
Right.
Like,
yeah, that was a pretty big.
and that was pretty huge. And like, I wish I would have known and like known where he was at. Like, I would have loved to, at least seen him. I didn't even realize like until like it was too late. Right.
From what I understood, is that the line was crazy for him.
Which makes sense. I mean, not that like I was a big fan of Goosebumps or anything like that, which I wasn't. I mean, when those things came out, I've already seen like every major slasher film that 10-year-old shouldn't have seen. But like it would have just been cool. So.
Oh yeah. Because C2E2 gets some not obscure guests, but they get some really good literary guests there. But yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, and to boot, Walker Stalker Con was the same weekend as C2E2.
Right.
So that, I mean, it didn't seem to hurt C2E2's attendance at all. It was packed.
Oh, it was. Artist Alley was ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
Like, I was in Artist Alley for a little bit, and I couldn't move. Like, it was crazy.
And, some big draws, like we talked about. Neil Adams had a couple huge tables. That was cool. They get some really, really good artists to Artist Alley. And it was huge this year. It seemed like it was maybe 10% bigger than it was last year. Would that be accurate? Because remember last year, that whole like left side when you went in the door was empty. That's where you walked in and filtered in through the, through the check-in, and that whole area was packed with vendors. So.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think they had as much shopping, like vendor-wise, as they had in the past. Like individual, like businesses for like toy hunting. It seemed like it was. Like, because that back area, they had a lot of cosplayers and stages set up, makeup artists, and a lot of cool things. But, like, I remember, like, that was all filled with booths full of toys, like, that I can go and hunt. And
did you go to that one area that was right by Artist Alley that was kind of...
Yeah.
It seemed like to me that there were as many vendors, or even a little bit more. But I think also they split some vendors because I think some people went to Rosemont.
Yeah, some people did, because I know some artists that did, because part of their group was people that I knew split up when they usually go to C2E2. So, it was an odd weekend, but it was still a good show. It was still a good con. Very busy.
Yeah, it's the best cosplay by far. It's just spectacular. I mean, there's tons of people dressed, and it's awesome. I mean, that whole the whole crew from Otherworld Theater, like 10 or 12 of them, all came dressed every day that weekend. Nathan, who worked for me, did a different costume every time. Other cosplayers I knew from Elgin, it's their big one of the year to go to. So. They have that World Cosplay Championship, which Monica Pop Rocky from Geeks A Go Go is in, and she was one of the finalists. Her cosplay was unbelievable, and she didn't even place. So it's kind of scary. Her kind of cool. So
did you see who won those things? Did you go to the cosplay stuff?
No, I didn't. We left early because my dog is 10 and can't be alone for more than 10 hours. So we went home. But, I mean, I watched a little bit of it because they streamed it on Sci-Fi. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a huge event. People from all over the world are watching. There were like 7 countries represented in the final 12, which is really kind of cool. They had some really, really neat cosplays. They have a guy who does Beetlejuice, with the where he did the carousel around his head.
Oh yeah,
and it was dead on. It's spectacular. So I don't want to say I don't know more about it, but I did not stay up and watch that. The whole thing. I saw parts of it.
Was it on Sci-Fi or you said streaming on Sci-Fi?
It was streaming. I don't think it was on Sci-Fi, but I think it's through their website. But I saw some of it from Monica's feed. So what some of the people did, some backstage stuff, some of their, because it's an all-day process for that. They get prejudged, so they have to be there early, and the judges prejudge them, and then they go out on the floor, and they go out into that lobby area, which was kind of weirdly set up this year, but which was fine. And they go out there and get pictures taken and all that stuff, and meet and greet fans, and kind of see what the fans think of them, and then they go back and do the whole stage performance. So it's a long day. Monica says it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work too. But if you're going to be one of the best in the world, that's what kind of happens, I think. What did you think about the setup where the hallway was kind of broken up and it was kind of off limits to some people? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah. So remember how when you walked in and they shoved everybody to the left and then queued you up back there?
Yeah.
That was the only metal detector setup for the entrance into the con. So everybody had to go that way, and they cordoned off that part by the C2E2 sign, which is usually open to the public. So they kind of limited anybody that didn't have a ticket from, I don't want to say getting closer to the convention, but going into that main hallway and always walking around. So they just pushed it off into that back because this was the first time they used all of that back area like that. What is that, the North Wing? They've used some of it, but they used all of it this time. For the tickets and and I like the way they queued people. I thought that was a pretty fair and quick way to get people in and not have everybody like storming all over each other. So,
yeah.
And I guess there was.
Are you not done?
I guess there was some.
You guys are still recording?
Yes.
Yes. Is that Teresa?
Yeah.
Teresa! No. So
she is politely inquiring as to the status of our podcast.
It's long. We talk a lot. But I guess there was, obviously a lot of people come to these things and they do a lot of shoots and they do a lot of stuff with cosplay. And I guess they were, they didn't let people just like set up shop and take pictures without like, I don't know the proper way to say it, but some people wouldn't want to pay for a booth, but they'd set up their cosplay photography booth in the hallway, and C2E2 was not too keen on that because they were taken away from people that actually paid for the booth inside. Mm-hmm. So of course in the cosplay world, so people were upset that they didn't know that they couldn't do that, although they've been kind of glomming on and riding the coattails of C2E2 so they could get some business. Now, they didn't stop anybody from just going out and taking pictures, but they did stop people from setting up booths. So, in which some people had did and I had seen. So, I guess it'll just change a little bit.
No, it's cool. So, yeah, that was C2E2. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
And we've got another con in a couple months. So, I'm sure we'll have more about that one for sure coming up shortly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then Wizard World if we decide to go, right?
Of course. Yeah, always. I mean, it's Wizard World is easy to Rosemont, so. All right, well, let's end it here. And why don't you guys give out your social media so everybody can, find you. How about you, Scott, start?
I am on Twitter and Tumblr as Scotty Smurf.
And I can be found at www.theblueboxcafe.com or Blue Box Cafe or Blue Box Cafe 176 on social media.
Awesome. And you can follow me a little at the League of Geeks, and that is on Twitter at LOGEEKZ. And you can also follow this show on Facebook at This Week in Geek, on Twitter at Twig, right? Am I getting that right?
It's
I don't even know it. Isn't it?
It's was it POD Twig? I can't remember. I'm saying. completely losing it.
Hey, that's all right. You can find us. I'm sure you'll find us if you're listening to this. Rob will post links. Thanks everyone for listening. That's it for tonight.
Enough said.
That's it.